smartphone this morning, having a few issues going live with the GoPro camera. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my cup of coffee. Just enjoy the early morning sounds. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Hey, thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. And Triple T's having a few equipment problems, so I apologize for that. How's that? Not a bad shot. So I'm gonna sit here and watch the sunrise. For some reason, and say good morning, Jake. Huh? Say good morning. Good boy. For some reason, the GoPro app that I normally use to stream live from the GoPro camera, Google will not allow you to stream from that app anymore. For some reason. Don't ask me why, but it's Google blocking the use of the GoPro app. So maybe they're Google and GoPro are having a little dispute or something. I really don't know. I've emailed both support for GoPro and Google to kind of figure out what's going on. But it absolutely has blocked me from using the GoPro app, which would, allow me to be able to stream from the GoPro camera, and then I can just use my phone here to monitor the chat. So that's one update on this morning's live stream. The other one would be my fantastic crane gimbal that we're using this morning. Hey, Sue Rowan, good morning. Tyron, up to you, Sue Rowan, and Tom Haddle. Happy holidays from cold Norway. Thanks for coming in, guys. So, yeah, the other thing, so I really like to stream from the GoPro camera, as you guys know, but the only way you can do that is to use the app on the smartphone. You can't just stream with the camera straight onto YouTube or anything. So that's not going to work for some reason. And like I say, I keep getting the notice that GoPro has blocked, that Google has blocked the GoPro app. So I don't know what's going on there. Like I say, I've emailed both companies trying to figure out what's going on. I've checked all of my settings. Permissions are allowed on my end, so I don't have any apps blocked from streaming. But nevertheless, that's why we're streaming from the smartphone this morning. Been a long time since I streamed directly from the phone here. And my outstanding gimbal, it's a crane gimbal. It's not a cheap gimbal. Very, very good gimbal. It's been a long time since I used it, and for some reason the battery's not taking a charge. So it's a couple years old. Maybe it's time to get a new rechargeable battery for the gimbal. Not sure what's going on there, but I've got the gimbal holding the phone, but if I go to move it around, we don't actually have the gimbal stability. So that's that. But I did want to go live for you folks a little bit this morning. Nam Yin is getting ready for work. She had her second Pfizer vaccination yesterday, and she's feeling just fine this morning, so that's good. So I only have one more staff member to get the second jab, and that'll be Nina, and she gets her second jab on the 4th of January, I do believe, and then we'll all be fully vaccinated. And you need to have all of your staff fully vaccinated in anticipation of reopening the nightclub. If and when that happens, you have to have all of your staff fully vaccinated. And we've already spoke to our local Tesabon government. Thanks, Tom. Hello to you, Tom. So basically, you would get a certification that all of your staff is fully vaccinated, right? It's called, I think, SCH or something like that certification. So you've got that certification that would allow you to open whenever the green light is given. And here in Rayong province, we have been downgraded to an orange zone, so that means something, I guess. It's less strict control measures. But Kumiko Ishira, good morning. Kumiko, good morning. Basically, being downgraded to an orange zone, lithium-ion batteries lose their ability to charge after so many chargers are sitting around in a low charge state. Thanks for that, Tyron. Yeah, and you know as well, here in Thailand, very moist air, so that's not really good on electronics or batteries either. And I have used the crap out of this gimbal. It's very, very nice gimbal. It's got a three-way manual balancing system, so you get it balanced kind of like what it is right now with no power, and then power it up, man, and it just floats. It's really, really good quality stabilization, but we can't power it up. Good morning, Dave's World. Good morning. Hello, hello. Happy December 22nd to everyone. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. So anyway, guys, in speaking with our local Tesabon government, which the Triple M's stay in contact with them all the time because they get, all the updates directly from the governor's office here in Rayong, which the governor, if he was given any latitude or autonomy to make decisions about reopening dine-in alcohol at restaurants here in Rayong, I have every bit of confidence that he would go ahead with that. The history of our governor here in Rayong is he's very, very pro-business. Paul A. Hello, Paul A. Good morning. So he really fought for Rayong province when the CCSA classified Rayong as a red zone, which, as many of you know, forces a lot of businesses to close. So back when that happened, months ago, the Rayong governor was very, very vocal in his objection to the red zone restrictions. Paul A., that's a good possibility. But, Thailand basically follows the lead of the West. It seems to be the pattern that, if there's a new wave, then it happens in the West more often than not, and then it's a period of time after that it begins to affect the East, not just here in Thailand but all of Asia and Australia as well. So you guys know they've had the Thailand pass, one night stay at an ASQ quarantine hotel. You get your negative test result and you're on your way. That's been going on since November the 1st. Thailand's attempt to get more international travelers back into the kingdom. So I believe the Prime Minister has made an announcement that they're going to suspend the Thailand pass and go to a 7-day mandatory quarantine. UK is heading into lockdown. 200,000 cases a day in France have gone into full lockdown. Yeah, that's true. Thanks for that, Paul. Gumiko says, I saw your video yesterday. First time I needed something relaxing, so I'm sorry. Let me touch the screen here, guys. Come on back, chat. There we go. So I typed morning in Thailand. You post a lot of morning videos. I love it so much. Well, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. And there we go, guys. We got minimal stability, so I'm not able to move the camera around for you today. But anyway, going back to our local Rayong news here, the ladies have spoke to the Tesabon, which is a sub-district of the city, right? The city is called Ampor, and then sub-district is Tesabon. Phala does have its own government building, Tesabon at Phala Beach, and that's what the Triple N's communicate with them to get the direct requirements from the government. And then, like I say, they're in constant contact with the governor's office in Rayong. So basically, there was a green light given for opening on New Year's Eve, December the 31st, and being allowed to be open till 1 a.m. And then that was it. So it's one night only. You had to close again on January 1st. So I thought about it. I'm like, and this was last week. So I didn't want to make an announcement on our Facebook business page or anything about, hey, we're going to have a New Year's party, right? I thought, well, like all the other news, even though it was direct from Tesabon, take time, digest that, see what happens, let it play out for a few days, right? We've learned that. Don't go directly and post something until you know for a fact, right? Well, because of the evolving situation with this new variant, we're not gonna do the New Year's Eve thing, guys. First of all, basically, as many of you know that follow the channel, our beer cooler has been shut down for months. Beer has an expiration date on it, so we were able to distribute, give that beer away right as it expired, So we are completely out of stock on beer. Now we still have liquor, but certain mixers and things like that to make cocktails, we'd have to go out and purchase that. So basically, I'd have to go out, stock up on different brands of beer, even, just one case of each or whatever, and then restock mixers and make sure we're able to make every cocktail and shot on the menu and do all of that for one night. Okay, which was I was open to doing, because I'm like, yeah, let's do it. At least we're going to be legal for one night. We can have a New Year's party. Every one seems to be bigger than the previous one. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Thank you for that, Sue. Thank you. So anyway, bottom line, guys, I allowed that information to digest for a while, that we were allowed to do a New Year's party and be open till 1. Now again, we are a licensed restaurant, so that I'm not speaking for bars and entertainment clubs. It's not like we would be allowed to do karaoke and anything we wanted. We would just be able to open, right? We could have music, obviously. I've got local musicians here in Pala that I could have had come out, and we could jam, have some live music entertainment, and let people, count down and bring in the new year. But what's happened now that I've digested that the authority to do that for one night, what's happened now is what Paul A was talking about in the chat with the new restrictions and stuff that the CCSA is contemplating. And then I think, like say, the Prime Minister made an announcement yesterday as to adding quarantine on arrival for 7 days from vulnerable or high-risk countries, which, pretty much all of Europe, the UK, United States now. The dominant variant is the Omicron as well. So I believe Australia, Sue, maybe you can speak to that, or anybody else in the chat from down under, the great Aussies. But it appears that there's community spread there too with the new variant. So basically, bottom line, guys, it's just not worth it. They're going to be very strict about the New Year's parties. In speaking with the Tessaban again this week, there's quite a few restrictions as to what you could do, what you can't do. Social distancing, dancing, no karaoke. What else was it? Oh, you have to require your customers to show vaccination records. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So, to me, for a one night only reopening, it just wasn't worth it. Good morning. You say hello?
Good morning, everyone.
Namyen's here. How do you feel today?
Feel better.
You feel okay?
But they have a little bit for my arm.
Arm is sore?
ใช่คุณหมอแบบ hand hard มากเลย not a short little bit but he make my
Okay, go over there. Say good morning. There you
Good
go.
morning ค่ะ Is my arm hurts little bit
All right.
This is not เดี๋ยวแบบติ๊ก hard มากเลยอ่ะ
Right. Did she
Sure.
pinch your arm when she put it in there? Okay. So anyway, guys, that's the update for the open mic. We're just not, to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like a time of celebration. You know what I mean? If you're going to have a New Year's party, you want to create a nice environment. You want people to have fun. You don't want to be restricting people. You don't want to be requiring, can I see your, see your vaccination documents? I mean, it just, now, could we have opened and just said kind of to hell with all of that? Probably could have, but unfortunately, there are people that might, make a report of what's going on at the open mic or something. And like I say, you guys know we're real transparent here on the YouTube channel. We like to promote other businesses and promote our area of Thailand. So when we reopen, we want to be able to promote. We want to be able to have fun. We want our customers to feel welcomed and entertained. And it just didn't feel like that was going to add up. So we just decided, even though we do have permission to open for one night only, that it's just not worth it. It's just really not worth it. And so I'm sure there'll be several places in our area that will do a New Year's countdown. And again, technically, all of your staff for certain, 100%, in order to get the green light as a restaurant to serve alcohol, even for that one night, your staff needs to have proof of full
31 and
vaccination.
1
Right?
31 December and 1 January
31 through 1st of
Something that
January.
have
Right.
party
But we're not going to.
ไม่ใช่
No. Too many requirements.
you some people go you don't have vaccine in the party
Yeah.
two shot
Yeah, they have to show their vaccine and
Sure.
everything else.
and
Yeah.
you not shot you cannot
And Nina won't have her second shot till January 4. So
sure.
technically, we didn't qualify for the reopening because all of your staff has to have both vaccines. So, I mean, obviously, I think we probably could have went ahead and opened. I should put that into a scene. Yeah, Paul, Tyron. Sandbox only now. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're doing good in the blue zones. I mean, so far so good. Gary PW, yes, but I had purchased flight and hotel in Bangkok. So sorry about that. Now, from what I understand, there's about 80,000 people that had already been approved for the Thailand pass. And from what I understand, don't hold me to official Thailand news, but they are going to allow those people that had already been approved for Thailand pass to go ahead and enter with the one night stay. But I think they were going to increase the testing to 2 tests or something like that.
Same have Thailand the news say the woman 49-year-old
Oh, only the Phuket sandbox. Yeah.
Omicron
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there was a community case of the new Omicron variant in Thailand, and her husband was a pilot.
ใช่
So he had entered, right? Obviously, and he had passed, the PCR RTK test or whatever. But then several days later, he
She
he
have
got
2 shot
symptoms and tested positive for the new variant, and so did his wife.
She have the shot 2 shot
Yeah, they both were fully vaccinated. So basically, I don't know, guys. I try not to be critical of any government decision, but I knew just by the history of Thailand, the CCSA going to err on the side of caution, right? So it appears that because there is some evidence out there that people are entering, they're passing the one test, and then later turns out that they have the new variant. So maybe there's some science there as to the full development of the infection in order to find it positively with the PCR test. That maybe it takes several days. So that's maybe again, I'm just a messenger here, but possibly why they want to add the 7-day quarantine requirement. But like Paul A is saying, and like so many people are saying, look what's happening in Europe, look what's happening in the UK, United States, right? So Thailand, usually is follows the lead of other countries and other governments. So when they see the additional lockdowns and restrictions and flight availabilities and all the other things going on, they can't help but respond to that, right? So I want to come to Thailand next year in May and vaccinated 3 times. No telling what's going to happen by May of next year. We're all very hopeful that by that time there would be we'd be past this pandemic and we'd be more into an epidemic kind of stage, but it's not just Thailand, guys, right? It's all over the world. Good morning, CJ Paradise in Hua Hin. How are you? Or I know you were recently in Bangkok. Kumiko Inshira, hope is a good thing. I hope so too. That's all we can do. We are all safe here, CJ. We are not going to go ahead with any New Year's Eve party at the open mic, even though we were given the authorizations. Shooting for Songkran. Sounds good, Tyron. So Songkran is the Thai New Year in mid-April every year. Well, guys, what can we do, right? What can we do but wait and have patience? As far as the open mic at Pala is concerned, the ladies are doing really, really well with the breakfast restaurant. And what was that, Tom? All locked down in Norway. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Danny Smith. Danny Smith from Arkansas in the house. God bless you, Danny. Hope you're doing well, brother. This is a mess. Was on the up and going well. Yeah, CJ. Even today or as of yesterday, the numbers here in Thailand, guys, are just incredible. We're at the lowest daily cases that we've been. Uh, you know, very low numbers that are under care. Including hospitalization, field hospitals. All the numbers have been dropping. So kind of deja vu, though, to be honest with you, because this is the way things were looking prior to Songkran 2021. We were able to reopen our bar in mid-February 2021. And so I think all the bars were reopened in Pattaya and throughout Thailand. And then what happened? We were open about 2 months, mid-February to mid-April, and then boom, right? The fourth wave, I guess it is, the third wave. I don't know. I can't even keep track of the number of waves, but basically the Delta variant is what caused the shutdowns, right? And we've been shut for 9 months. And there's a lot of businesses, not just bars and restaurants, but hospitality, real estate, everything is suffering from this, right? And I know that people have various opinions about what the government should or should not do, but personally, I just blame the pandemic. I try not to blame the Thai government, because without a pandemic, Thai government is not going to shut down any businesses. So I try to stay away from the opinions and the politics, as you guys know, and just go with the flow. Doesn't matter what our opinions are anyway. They're going to do what they're going to do, right, CJ? Yeah, Test and Go is closed as of December 21st. Right, yeah. They actually, the CCSA had a brief announcement on it, and basically they didn't give any details about the exact date. They mentioned the recommendation to go back to a 7-day quarantine because the one-night stay with one test they didn't feel was sufficient enough. So obviously, guys, what are they trying to do? They're trying to prevent another wave here in Thailand. And if they can do that, as inconvenient as it may be for travelers coming to Thailand, if they can do that by requiring them to stay in one certified quarantine hotel for 7 days, and then probably it would be like a total of 3 tests before you would be allowed to go, right? Now, obviously Thailand doesn't want to do that. The Thailand Authority on Tourism, TAT, has really been promoting the hell out of the Thailand Pass. They created the website. You guys know. It takes a lot of work to increase your tourism here, and they've done, I think, a good job, right? Obviously, there's flaws in every system, but so yeah, now they're going to go back to the 7 days, and are they going to be able to prevent the new variant from being here in Thailand? Probably not, right? But can they slow it down? Possibly, right? So I think look, they got the best doctors and scientists in the world, right? Just like every government. Those are the people that are looking at the analytics, statistics from South Africa, from Europe, from Norway, from Denmark, Germany, from the UK, and now United States, Australia. So they're looking at all the numbers, and numbers don't lie. The great thing that seems to be relevant to this new variant is there's much less severe illness. There are what they call immune escape. So There are people that are fully vaccinated that are getting this variant. It's highly contagious, mostly in the upper lungs, the bronchial area of the lungs, so not getting as deep down into the lungs where it's more virulent, causes more severe illness. So, but obviously a lot more contagious. Cases are going through the roof. I think they said about what was it, Paul? About 200,000 cases per day in the UK right now, which is higher than any other variant they've had in the past. But at the same time, less severe illness, right? They went back to the 7-day queue because of local case in Thailand. That's right, CJ. We were just talking about that. And so I think the thinking was, you know, if you stay one night in an ASQ hotel, you pass one PCR RTK test, and you're on your way. Maybe they're missing some actual infection. So I think that's right. Me and Somdi have a big side pork and beer and holiday. Oh, sounds good. You know, guys, I mean, I think you know anybody that follows this channel, we try to stay very optimistic and positive. About 200K, but less harmful by people have died. Right, right, right. And the thing about it is, Paul, you know, the severe illness and the deaths are going to be quite a bit of a lag, right? Quite a bit of a lag from the actual daily case numbers, because it's usually, what was it, about 2 weeks after the infection that people that are vulnerable, or people that just maybe got a larger viral load or whatever the case may be, end up ill and then seeking hospitalization, right? So there's always going to be a lag in that, but it does appear, I follow Dr. John Campbell. Good morning, Jeff Johnson. Thanks for coming in, brother. So Dr. John Campbell out of the UK, I really like to follow him. He's non-political, very well respected doctor, author. You know, he's been looking at this stuff, and obviously the largest amount of data that he has is out of South Africa, right? So, and then he's comparing it to the other countries, and you know, obviously he's not a decision maker, so it's not about pro or con on restrictions on travel or lockdowns and stuff like that. It's just really a deep dive into the data, and so that's why I like to follow Dr. John Campbell. His newest video was discussing the United States and the fact that the Omicron variant seems to be the dominant variant already in the United States. And, you know, he thought early on, even looking at just the South African data, that was, you know, early on, that was about the only thing he could look at, that it appeared that it would, you know, shortly become the dominant variant throughout the world, just because of the, you know, the contingency. It was, you know, so many mutations in this new variant, and it was much more contagious, and the efficiencies of the vaccines were a lot lower, right? That was the early data. So I don't know. I like Dr. John Campbell. He was pretty much spot on with the Delta when that started. And so if you're looking for a non-political analysis, scientific, looking at the numbers and the data and comparing it to the countries throughout the world, I think Dr. John Campbell's pretty good resource, guys. If you're like me and you don't want to hear the opinion and the politics entered into a health crisis, you just kind of want to, you know, be informed about what's going on, and maybe you can anticipate what's going to happen a little better. I think Dr. John Campbell is outstanding myself. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to go live, and we've had quite a few people enter Thailand through the Thailand Pass, and even going back to the Phuket Sandbox, and even the full 2-week quarantines. We had people coming in, and we were fortunate enough that they stopped by the open mic for breakfast, and so we still got quite a few people in the area, and a lot of people have been inquiring. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. You guys go subscribe to CJ Paradise over in Hua Hin for another great perspective of expat life here in Thailand. You know, we do have the authorization to open our restaurant for dine-in alcohol till 1 a.m. So December 31st till 1 a.m. on January 1st. We do have that authorization. There's several requirements, among which are the 100% requirement that all of your staff be fully vaccinated. And for those of you that didn't hear earlier, we still have one of our staff that will get their second Pfizer on January 4th. So we would not be able to provide those documents. Now, could we go ahead and open despite that? Yeah, I'm sure we could. But then now, because of the ever evolving situation, they're adding some more requirements if you're gonna have the New Year's countdown, and it just feels too burdensome to us. And you got to remember, we got to go out and buy alcohol stock. You got to do all this stuff, and it's a one night only. And when we first got the authorization, I'm like, all right, let's do it. Right, let's start making plans. Don't announce it yet, because obviously things could change. Right, so don't announce it, but let's plan for it. So we got the sound system all ready to go. I rewired, clipped all the wires on the speakers and got everything good to go there. And then you guys are, seeing a lot of the updated news in the chat here from throughout the world of what's going on. So, we've got such a good thing going on with the restaurant that I don't want to jeopardize that. I don't want to have this big party for New Year's Eve and then have some positive test that may be attended, and then we get shut down on the restaurant, because that's what they do when they start contract tracing. I've seen it many times in our area where there was a cluster or something, and then you'd look over and all of a sudden this restaurant's been closed down, and you're like, what the hell, right? Why are they closed? And it's because somebody that tested positive, gave the history of their travel, and that was one of the businesses that they attended. So, hey, good morning, Teddy Bear. Say hey, Triple T. Hey, Teddy Bear. How are you? So anyway, guys, that's basically the update. I don't want to keep harping on it because I don't want to bring anybody down. Life is still beautiful here in the Kingdom of Thailand. I'm happy to be living here, and it doesn't change our situation really that much. Many of you know Rayong province itself is not an area that's dependent on international tourism. I think it's about 7% of the economy down here in Rayong. Obviously, our business would benefit from more and more people coming into Thailand, but we are where we are, right? And so we just want to keep going on with the restaurant. We might actually add a small lunch menu because we are open till 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. So, we do have some BLTs and we got Thai food available, stuff like that, right? But we might add like a Subway sandwich menu or something, right? If it feels like it's going to be a prolonged period now, which I doubt. I have my doubts that the target date of January 16th for reopening of entertainment, bars / karaoke clubs that we were anticipating a reopening on the 16th of January. I have my doubts about that happening now. So it might be time to kind of think about a prolonged period of not being able to have the nightclub. And if that's the case, then we could obviously do something more with the restaurant. But we've been very, very fortunate. We've got a great customer base with the breakfast, and we're getting new people in all the time. Mick from the UK, great guy, new customer. He's the one that owns the condo that I just put a new video out. He's got a condo for rent here in Phala. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. The thumbnail says Sea View condo for rent in Thailand. So $225 a month, I think, is kind of gives people a good idea of the unbelievable cost of living here in Thailand. Have a sea view condo like that with, just really great, and located right here in our area. So shout out to Mick. We put his email address in the description of that video, so you can email him directly if you are serious and in the area about renting that condo. What time is it, baby? You going?
I give you some more money.
You give me money.
Oh,
you too? Okay.
give money.
Not gonna lie.
เท่าไหร่ไม่รู้อันนี้
I don't know what time it is. Can you turn off the lights down there now? Looks like we got a cloudy start to the day, guys. We've had quite a bit of cloud cover and chilly. Chilly, like, well, I mean, chilly for Thailand. Maybe 69 degrees in the morning and highs in the low 80s Fahrenheit, right? So, yeah, 20 degrees Celsius for low and about 27 degrees Celsius for a high, Nam Yen says. They turn off the lights outside. And again, guys, because my battery is no good on this fantastic gimbal, we're not going to be able to move around a little bit much. I'm going to pull you over here so you can get a little better street view. But yeah, with the clouds, get in a position where we could not have the post up in your face. Not bad, not bad. Sit down here. Yeah, the weather's just beautiful this time of year. It almost looks like we've had a threat of rain, but no, there's been no rain. No rain at all. But very cool, cloudy days. So, not getting much of a golden view this morning. Looked pretty dang cloudy to the southeast. Coffee's good. So anyway, guys, that's basically the update. We're just gonna keep focusing on our restaurant. Like I say, we feel very fortunate, and thank you to all of the locals who have supported the restaurant. We really appreciate it. That has really helped sustain. Yeah, it's still better for me. More stable right there. Sun is up. Yeah, it's up. So, I don't know, guys. It's not really horrible news, and it depends on what your expectations were, right? But I always said if you have low expectations, then you're not going to be so disappointed, and that's what kind of obviously we're hopeful, very hopeful that we get our nightclub back open. That was let's say 90% of the business design, right? Was the entertainment, the nightlife, social, yeah, what everybody's missing, right? But good news, I mean, the blue zones have expanded quite a bit in Thailand. So if you're coming to Thailand, whether you've already been approved for the Thailand Pass, what I understand, everybody that was already pre-approved for the Thailand Pass can still enter with the 1 day, but they've added a second test. So I don't know if that second test is, after you've left and you've got to go in somewhere and get another test. They just want to make sure, whatever, that they're not missing infections with the test and go. Watch them, Jake. So that could be the issue there, but nevertheless, you're coming into Thailand. There's expanded blue zones, and the great thing about the blue zones is they are allowing licensed restaurants to have the dine-in alcohol. From what I understand, they're required to close at 11 p.m. But again, there is the exception for New Year's Eve, where they're allowing people to stay up until 1 a.m. So a lot of those areas in the blue zones that have already got the certification, all of their staff is fully vaccinated, right? They meet all the requirements to be open till 11 p.m. and serve dine-in alcohol at the restaurant. They're already good to go for their New Year's countdown, right? And obviously you guys can see that because here in Rayong, we're not a blue zone. We're not a targeted tourist area, which basically is what the blue zones were, an extension of the Phuket sandbox, trying to have more availability for the tourists that enter Thailand to have more businesses open and be able to sit down and have an adult beverage, right? So obviously that's the targeted areas, the blue zones. And here in Rayong, because we are very, very low on the international tourism destination, right? That's why I believe that's why we are not benefiting from being a blue zone. I wish we were. If we were designated a blue zone here at Phala, for example, then we'd be in the same boat as the other restaurants. Now, again, technically, our final staff member will get their second jab on January 4th, so we wouldn't quite be eligible yet. But obviously, if the target date stays in place, depending on how this whole thing plays out, then the target date of reopening nightclubs, bars, entertainment throughout the country, not just blue zones, right? But that January 16th date that's kind of already been set. Now, that wasn't like, you know, approved that everything was going to open on that date. That was a target date, right? So, like a proposal. And of course, they're going to have meetings with the CCSA and the cabinet, the prime minister, prior to, giving the green light of that date actually happening. And now I doubt that that's going to happen. But anyway, that we would have been ready to go by that period, and it might still happen. So by mid-January, we would be, certified by the local test among government. They've got the full vaccination records from all of the staff at the open mic, right? So they come do an inspection. We're complete open air. We've got a very safe, clean environment, right? So we would get the certification that we would need to be able to open at night, have adult beverages, start doing dinner specials, especially on the weekends with live music, all that kind of stuff. So we're still in a position to be ready to do that come mid-January. We just have to wait and see if that happens. I have my doubts, very low expectations. That way we're not disappointed. But in the meantime, we're doing great with the restaurant, and we'll just keep doing that. We might, if it does come to fruition that we're not going to be able to reopen in mid-January for the nightclub, then we'll probably ramp up and do something more with the restaurant. Like I say, maybe add a lunch menu, fresh baked Subway bread, sandwiches, something like that. Something simple. Just kind of add some additional options for lunch, and that's what we'll do. So anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. We didn't get our normal beautiful sunrise up here. Yeah, it looks like a good day. No snow, right? Thanks, Danny. Have a blessed day, Danny. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. But this gimbal that I've got the smartphone in this morning is really good gimbal, but we probably going to have to get another battery system for it because it will not take a charge. And you can see how unsteady it is when I'm moving it around, right? So we have no powered gimbal, and I'm not able to stream from the GoPro camera for some reason. Google, which owns YouTube, is blocking the GoPro app from live streaming. Go figure that. Maybe they got a licensing dispute or something with GoPro and Google going on. But I have emailed the proper authorities. We'll see if they ever get back to me and let me know what the hell's going on. So Nam Yin's fixing to head out, guys, and then I'm going to close out the stream and jump my butt in the shower and go down. Nina is taking off work today, taking her son for some medical documents that need to be filled out for the enrollment of the school. The kid's already back in school, but then there's he's gotten his vaccine, right? They're vaccinating the kids at school now. He's gotten 2. So now that her son is fully vaccinated, there's some documentation that she has to go take the son to the doctor today and get those documents signed by the doctor. So Nam Yin was absent yesterday because she was going to get her second visor, and Nina's absent today. And we were busy yesterday while you were gone, by the way. We had a good morning. So I know Wild Bill's coming for breakfast today, so I'll be there. New biscuits? Yeah, we sold out of the biscuits yesterday. So rock on. So anyway, guys, we'll watch Nam Yin depart here. Weird operating a gimbal with no power. Here we go. All right, baby, be careful.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you. Everybody says bye, Nam Yen.
บายบายค่ะ
Be careful. Look both ways. Bye, Nam Yen. Have a great day. So yeah, we've had a lot of cloudy weather, but I must say, slow that thing down. I must say this is a much darker clouds this morning, man. Completely blocking our golden sunrise. So anyway, I think everybody's pretty much up to date on the status of the open mic restaurant. Still open 7 to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Nightclub been authorized to open for New Year's Eve till 1 a.m., but we don't actually meet all the requirements for that, and now they're adding some additional, what I consider overburdensome requirements. And if you were to get a visit from the government on New Year's Eve and you didn't have all of the documentation that they wanted, you'd be in trouble. So why would I jeopardize a very successful restaurant for a one-night party? And to be honest with you guys, I don't know about you, but it doesn't feel like a time of celebration, and that's what New Year's is all about. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but I mean, let's face it, there's a big elephant in the room that you would be ignoring by doing a one-night thing, at least for Rayong. Now, if we were a blue zone, like I said, if we were a blue zone, we would shortly meet the requirements for our restaurant to begin serving dine-in alcohol. We would, we would be ready to roll. So if that happens and we get designated a blue zone, we'll be ready. If we don't get designated a blue zone, and yet come mid-January they give the green light for, entertainment nightclubs to reopen, then we'll be ready, right? But to go out and restock beer and spend a bunch of money and for one night only, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So like I said, we had a big staff meeting yesterday. We all talked about it after Nam Yen got back, and even Nina's in agreement. It's like, it was a lot of work, and we would want to have a big barbecue buffet and really do it up right on a reopening. It's kind of hard to do for one night when you got to close again the next day. Right? So, and then you've stocked up on beer and alcohol. You probably didn't sell it all, so now you're, why keep the cooler running? And you know what I mean? So we're just trying to keep our expenses as low as we can, and we definitely don't want to jeopardize our licensing as a restaurant and reopen for one night and then somebody come in. Nam Yen's going to work, Kumiko. We have a restaurant here in Phala Banchang. Same name as the channel, the Open Mic Phala. You can find us on Facebook and on Google Map. Basically, if you just search a Google Map for open, it should pop right up. Open Mic at Phala. Right, yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Appreciate you tuning in to the live stream. We do have a little bit of sky. Let me see if I can move you around a little bit without too much. Yeah. So we have a manual stability, which means we have basically no stability. A little bit of color breaking through over here, but not going to be our normal. Hello, Andrew Miller. Cheers to England. Cheers to England. Thanks for coming in. Hey, you be safe over there, CJ. Thank you all. Thank you to the moderators, Jeff Johnson, Sue Rowan, Tup to you. All of you folks, appreciate it very much. Have a great day. We're going to go ahead and sign out. Call it a day. Thank you for tuning in. Let me see if I can bump it around. See my ugly mug for a minute. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Peace and love to everyone. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, guys. Have a great one. Appreciate it. Bye-bye, Kumiko. Thank you for coming in. Whoa. How do you like that, Jeff? A gimbal with no power, no stabilization. Doesn't work for a crap, does it? Maybe we'll get the GoPro back live here soon. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Peace and love. That's right, Jeff. Thank you so much.